only thing we have to fear is beer itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer!
Hello and welcome to a very exciting and extravagant and wonderful episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring you the news and reviews of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and our entertainer.
The also extravagant Wayne Baker.
Yes, ever more extravagant. Well, today is a very fun, very exciting, very highly anticipated episode of Beer Busters, and I wish I would have said those words in the beginning instead of what I did. But we are on location. We are at Canal Street Restaurant and Pub in Reading at Brewphoria 12. It's a cool little event that is going on. There's upwards of, 19 breweries that are here pouring some samples. There's a buffet that is setting up right across the way from us, and it's only quiet in the background because we're recording this part before the event begins, which is very good because we have the return of one of our favorite guests and favorite breweries that we've had on the podcast, Mr.
Trevor Hayward.
Trevor, thank you for being on the show again.
From, of course, Evil Genius.
Yes, of course, Evil Genius.
I think our listeners know by
They
now.
probably know
More than
that.
likely. And your counterpart is en route, we've been told, correct?
That's right. He's
Okay.
down at a beer festival in Harrisburg, and he's on his way.
Oh, this
So-
one's better, so he should hurry
I
up.
agree.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
I always go to the good ones. I send him to the
Good, yeah.
Smart.
yeah, we'll try and snag him at some point throughout the evening. And
Except for that whole
Say
Pittsburgh
hi.
thing,
Yeah.
which for anybody out there who doesn't know, Evil Genius has now gotten into Pittsburgh. So Luke was actually out there for a week at different events, and apparently, from what I saw on his Facebook, the reception's been going really well out there.
Yeah, we've been doing really well beer wise out there, selling a lot of beer. And Luke did a lot of events. He had 2 events every night for that full week that he was out there.
Wow.
Which so he came back a little tired from Pittsburgh, but
can imagine.
it was a really exciting and great week for us. So we're excited to be out there. It's
Very
a great
cool.
beer market.
You know, I think every time we've had you on now, or today and the last time, you had an announcement of an expansion of your market, wasn't it?
Boston,
Boston,
before, right?
Last
yeah.
time we had
that's
you on,
right.
you had just started
Yeah.
distributing up there. So
How's Boston been going? I know since last time we had you on, they kicked Yingling out, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. I was up there with just before it launched, as in Yingling, and just after, and it was not going well
Ooh.
afterwards. No,
No, I can imagine.
Everyone was very excited for it, apparently, and then kind of sat on the shelf a little bit.
Nobody wanted.
That's
to.
upsetting.
Yeah, so
They took it off something like 30-some taps within 2 months of it being launched, if I remember reading right. It was not good. And that's just one distributor, one wholesaler, I guess.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Whatever you
That was
call it, yeah.
one of them. Out of,
Well, what Yingling is here, Sam Adams is up
Is
there.
up there.
exactly.
that's the
And
thing. It's a hard competition.
Oh,
It is,
yeah.
it is.
Yeah. I mean, you have Yingling, who they're America's oldest continuously operated brewery, and then you have Sam Adams, who, let's just face it, everybody in Boston will kick your teeth in if you badmouth anything from Boston.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Although Evil Genius has taken a foothold there, it doesn't seem to
Yeah, we're doing pretty well up
doing
there.
good up
Good.
there.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because it's funny, like I think the Boston market again is like a really cool beer
Boston
market. But they don't get as many of the breweries. Like not every brewery is up there the way we get such a selection here in Philadelphia. So like Duclaw is not up there, and they obviously make a similar chocolate peanut butter beer to us. And
Yes.
so our beer is very different than what they can get up there, which is kind of cool for us. For now,
Right.
I'm sure.
Well, it's also even if their market gets a little more saturated moving forward, just being there first or early is going to be an advantage.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so it's exciting.
It's really cool. So what's new in the world of Evil Genius besides Pittsburgh?
We are, as we've discussed, we are planning on building our own spot. It's slow and steady. I wish I could tell you, we have a spot, but we are still looking in the Fishtown area of Philadelphia.
Awesome.
As long as you're in the city, I'm okay with that.
Yes, absolutely.
It means it's easier for me to get home.
Exactly. So we're excited about that, but we don't really have a lot of news on that. It's kind of slow and steady. The part that most people don't talk about when they're building a brewery is that, it takes a lot of money, and so that financing part takes a long time, and so we're kind of knee deep in that right now, but hoping to have an announcement hopefully in the early part of 2015.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, it's going well. We've been selling a lot of beer. We had our best month sales wise ever last month.
Oh, good. Congratulations.
Which just beat our best sales month ever the previous month.
Nice.
So
That's good. I mean, it's good upward growth, which is great for a brewery like you guys. Good beer, good people.
Absolutely. So we're excited about that, and people seem to be really digging the beers right now, and hopefully that continues.
Yeah. And I know I told you before we recorded a little while ago. We recorded and we had somebody interview us for a change, and he asked us point blank, "What's your favorite beer?" I went on record saying Purple Monkey Dishwasher.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
you really didn't hesitate.
No, yeah, Steph and I were kind of like, well, it depends on the mood, and there's
And he's like Purple Monkey
Dan's
Dishwasher.
like, Purple Monkey Dishwasher.
It was a toss-up between Purple Monkey Dishwasher and Trick or Treat.
Nice. You're my favorite now.
Aw, all right.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Which I've been told.
Well, you haven't made a pepper beer yet, so
That is true.
Oh man!
That is
So once
true.
you
That's
do,
true.
you'll then be
Yes.
Steph's favorite.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I can make that happen.
What's it take for you?
Money.
Okay.
Good old-fashioned bribery.
I can totally do that.
Good old-fashioned bribery works for me.
So do you have any new beers coming up?
Yes, so
In
we
planning?
have some exciting new beers with crazy names for next year.
Awesome.
So the next beer that comes out is Stacy's Mom.
She's got it going on.
She certainly does.
I wish I
It's
had
a-
that song, but I could put
It's
that
a
in.
7.5% all Citra IPA.
Nice.
Ooh.
So
Nice.
it's actually coming out of the tank this coming week. So
Ooh.
we're excited. We've obviously tried it before, but this is the full scale version, so we're excited for that.
That's awesome.
Can't really go wrong with Citra though.
No.
So it's
Yeah.
very
No, no,
difficult
no.
to. And then Naughty or Nice is back.
Of course.
So we've just been releasing that. We're going to get to try some of that today. We're really excited for this year's version as well. I think it's we improved on it slightly, and I think it's pretty killer this year,
Awesome.
in my biased opinion.
In my
And then,
admittedly biased opinion.
February we will definitely have to come back and show you this one. We have a chocolate hazelnut stout.
Oh my God.
It's going to be a big one though. It's an imperial. It's going to be 9.4%.
Sessionable, Dan.
Yep.
No, too low. Too low for sessionable.
So that's called I'll Have What She's Having.
Nice. Very nice.
I
It's
love
not a
these
pumpkin
names.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is true. And then after that, we're doing a Mandarin Wit.
Ooh.
Yes. Which you're going to love this one. That's called Ma, the meatloaf. No. Yep.
Oh, that's amazing. So in a way, there's two Will Ferrell references then, because you also had I Love Lamp, which was Anchorman.
Yep, absolutely.
Very nice.
But I think because we were talking about this earlier, we're going to need to get a Seinfeld something.
Oh, of
in there
course.
at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
And
You
and
just got to
then-
think of the perfect quote from. There's so many good ones.
Yeah.
They could do no soup for you.
Yeah, that's the
That's
first
it
thing
for
one
you.
that came.
that would
that
be a
one's
good one,
obvious,
actually.
though.
Yeah.
I
How about
bet you
master of
if
your
I
domain?
looked, someone has that.
I'm sure they
Probably.
do. Yeah.
That's the problem. That's why our beers get names, these crazy things, that there's too many names that
Oh yeah.
are already used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, we have a new white IPA, not too dissimilar from the Siren, but a little different. And that's going to be called Shut Up, Meg.
Jeez. Shut up, Meg.
Yeah, when you came up to me at the Stouts Fest and
Yep.
told me about that, I couldn't stop cracking up. And
I like
wanted
that
to
one.
tell everyone about it, but I'm like, can I tell people about this? Is this official yet? I didn't want to.
these are
steal your
official.
thunder.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But so we're excited. We have some new fun things for next year. But yeah, between now and the end of the year, we just have Stacy's Mom. Purple Monkey Dishwasher is back. I got a lot of phone calls and emails over the
good.
summer because we kind of figured, when it's 100 degrees outside, people might not want to drink, a chocolate peanut butter porter. But
I
apparently
would.
they do.
I would. I totally would.
It was ridiculous. Like I got a voicemail. I let it go to voicemail at like 9:30 on a Friday night from like some unknown number, and it was someone saying, I think they had a few already, put it this way, and they were asking where they could get it and when it was coming back. And
Dan, it wasn't you, was
No,
it?
I was going to say, how did this person get your number? It's an unknown number calling you that late.
well, we are very open to communication. Actually, my number's on our website.
I
so-
thought you were going to give out your number
Yeah.
right now and be like, "This is my number. Call me."
No,
So-
he's going to get the website hit, so people have to go to their
Absolutely.
page.
Yeah.
Good point. Good
Gotta
point.
check the
He's
website.
smart. Yeah.
Want to see my bounce rate go down?
That's right.
I know all the lingo for websites.
Perfect.
I would see your. How many
And
conversions?
Soch, you taught me Soch.
The Soch.
The
I'm
new
doing the
nickname for
Soch.
social
The Soch.
media.
I
I
You
didn't.
know
Well, I didn't
Soch?
teach it. We just made it
Yeah,
up.
we made it up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just
I
Not
like
a
that
real
because
thing.
it's like
doing the Soch.
yeah, because I don't like because we do so many different things.
Yeah.
How do you say
Exactly.
all of them at
so
the
if you
same
take
time?
a picture and you want to put it on your Twitter, your
I'm gonna-
Facebook, your Instagram, you have to Soch that pic.
I'm gonna Soch this pic.
I like it. I'm gonna make
Like a
I'm gonna-
boss.
I'm gonna help make that happen.
If
that
this
out.
ends
I
up
like that.
trending, this will be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hashtag Soch.
Hashtag
Hashtag
Soch.
Soch.
Also, hashtag Beerbusters in the
you go.
same
Yes.
Beerbusters
Nice.
podcast. As we
Yeah. Things like that. 5 years from now, everybody will be saying it, and nobody will know we came up with
Yes.
it. But we will.
So I see you have a bottle opener in front of you.
You guys want to try some beers?
Hells yeah.
Let me. What will we do first?
Turtle Power.
Turtle power.
Turtle Power. Heroes in a half show.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
Yes, Turtle Power, which is a grapefruit pale ale.
Yes.
5.5%.
It
One of my
smells
favorite
amazing.
things about
Wonderful.
this beer, though, is when someone asks for it from me at a beer festival, I get to go cowabunga, dude.
Very
You
nice.
have to.
I know,
I
right?
love that it has
Ooh.
the grapefruit aroma and flavor of like a grapefruit radler, but it is followed up by that hot punch at the end.
So
And again,
good.
this is mostly Citra. We use Warrior for bittering, but the rest of it, we do a dry hop, a flame out hop, and a lot of late addition as well. And that hop just lends itself to grapefruit anyway.
yeah.
And then we add grapefruit
And
too.
you
so-
actually add grapefruit
Wow.
to it. Yeah, it's delicious.
I normally don't like grapefruit, but this is great. It's
I do like
grapefruit.
But bum.
It was so bad I almost didn't get it at first.
He's like, what?
It's a lot of grapefruit up front. It's one of the things like people go, wow, it does taste like grapefruit. I'm like, it's a grapefruit pale ale. What were you expecting?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like it says it right on the label.
I love the aroma.
Although my
Yeah.
favorite is when someone says, I don't get the grapefruit. I'm like, are you kidding me?
How? No, it's good. It's the grapefruit hits you right up front, and then afterwards you get the pale ale, you get the bitterness that's there, and it's a perfect balance. You guys, you kill it with the balance of your flavors.
That is always the goal, is balance, and I think this one being 5.5%, it's nice and refreshing. It's going to be back in the spring again and probably be around for most of the summer.
Yeah.
Because this came out in August this year. We tried to get it out a little bit earlier, and it went really fast. We should have made more of it at the time, but we just didn't have the production space at that particular time because that's pumpkin season, and
Yeah.
that you got to just get that out. But we're anticipating this being around for several months next year, and I think
Good.
it'll be
Yeah.
It's a good, easy drinking beer when it's warm out. But I love it even when it's cold.
Definitely.
I'm
Yeah.
going to just pass this bottle
Yeah,
around
no, that
rather,
sounds
if that's
good.
okay.
All right, so now
What's the ABV on the Sorry. It's easier to ask.
Well, it's not on the label, so
I didn't think so. I keep looking for it.
sorry. That one is 7.2.
Okay, sorry, Dan.
that's fine. So now we have in front of us the 7.2% ABV, naughty or nice.
Did you read that on the label?
No.
He's psychic. No, he's
I
got this
knew
power.
these
He can
things.
just look at a beer and know the ABV.
That's right. 7.2% cinnamon clove allspice. And then we use a Belgian yeast. It's the 510 from White Labs, which is a Bastogne yeast. It's the same one that we used to use in our Belgian IPA. And we really love that yeast.
Yeah,
Just gives these nice little kind of candy notes to it.
Yeah, it comes through a little bit. And then the clove, not to go back to the word, the clove balances it all.
Yeah, you get it in the end. And I like that it's not too sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like we pulled back, I think, on the clove a little bit from last year. It's amazing. Like we're making a 40-barrel batch, and we're using like 25 cloves.
Wow.
Wow.
It's amazing how potent
That
cloves
little goes
are.
a long way. Yeah,
You
it
know?
really does. Yeah.
It's really funny. I think we went from like using 30 last year to 25. It's a massive reduction.
Ooh, it's really good.
Yeah, I'm just going to finish it. You guys are just
That's fine.
Go ahead, finish it.
But it's funny, speaking of beer names and how a lot of beer names are gone, we were shocked when we found that Naughty or Nice was not.
yeah, that is
It
surprising.
seems
Now,
like a pretty straightforward.
brewery at Hershey
They're
has
naughty
naughty or
or
spiced.
spiced.
Yes, yes.
Interesting. Same with Trick or Treat. That's actually where Naughty or Nice actually came from, because we were brainstorming after we named Trick or Treat, and the Naughty or Nice, the or thing kind of came out.
It is surprising that neither of those were.
Yeah,
taken
they're so
beforehand.
straightforward
Yeah.
that you figured they would have been taken 20 years ago.
We were incredibly surprised
Yeah.
by that. So 7.8%,
Okay.
cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, chocolate, and pumpkin.
Wait a minute!
That's right.
When
We
was
had
that
Trick or
from?
Treat.
Actually, not from that long ago.
Yeah, that was a pretty recent one.
But Trick or Treat seriously is one of my absolute favorite beers. This is
Yeah, we were really happy again with our version of it this year. We didn't really make any change from last year. So
It
you
actually
didn't have
tastes
to.
like chocolate.
It does.
Which I love. It's like adult chocolate milk.
It's very good.
what I love about this one, and it's kind of the same with the Naughty or Nice, is that it really does change a lot as it warms up. So that's why, this was just in the trunk of my car, so it's kind of cold because it's cold outside, but it's not super cold. Like, I hate having to pour this when it's super cold at like a tasting where someone's only getting like a tiny
tiny
bit.
little
bit.
Because they're
You
not
know-
getting the actual experience
Yep.
of the beer at
No.
that point,
No, the chocolate is extremely accentuated with it being not warm, but not as cold. And
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, as it warmed up a
It's
little bit.
I love having, and I did this last year. You get a bottle of this, you pour it into a pint glass. You take your first sip while it's nice and cold, and you nurse it. You don't chug it.
Yes.
You nurse it because then you get
enjoy
that
it.
whole experience and the different flavors that pop out at you as you go. And
As
it's
it warms, yeah.
so good. This could be the perfect beer to do that with.
Yep.
It's a shame it's only part of the year. Excuse me.
Well,
You can come work for us, and you try pushing pumpkin beer at any other time than
Yeah.
August and September and October.
Yeah.
Hey, I would love to work for you.
November, like literally
Give me a
November.
beer.
It's kind of crazy how and it's less to do with customers or consumers. It's the wholesalers and retailers are so petrified of being left with pumpkin beer after like a Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of them won't even bring it in like after October 31st, after Halloween. No, we're done with pumpkin.
Yeah.
And I understand it to a certain extent, but at the same time, you hoarding that beer.
I used to work in Jersey, and there was a Total Wine right across the street from where I worked, and I would always go in there after work because why not? They have a good selection. It's pretty cheap, and I was there probably the end of January. It was definitely the end of January because I transferred into Philly February 1st. So I go in the end of January. I'm like, all right, one last Total Wine run. They still had pumpkin beer there,
Oh wow.
and I was kind of disgusted. I didn't know if it was late or early.
That's the weird
funny,
thing
yeah.
about pumpkin beer. Is
It
that
could be either.
It could be either. So now we're on to
Now we are
6.7% Purple Monkey dishwasher.
Purple Monkey dishwasher.
the one and only.
This is the one that I said was my favorite beer. And
It's
God
so good.
damn, it's so good. Especially after the Swedish meatballs.
Well, it's funny because people think that it's a dessert beer, and while I'm not saying it can't go well with dessert, I also think that it can go well with a lot of other types of food.
This
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
any
definitely.
time beer, as far as I'm concerned. I'll wake up in the morning and drink it.
Yeah, I was at a restaurant we're going to be doing a beer dinner with in probably March of next year, and we were talking about like the types of food that would go with that, and they had so many great ideas for this one, for the chocolate peanut butter, and none of them involved dessert.
Nice.
I was like, this is great. I like that you're being inventive with it beyond
the obvious.
Beyond the obvious,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And it's relatively light-bodied, so I mean, don't get me wrong. No one's drinking a 12-pack of this.
Right.
Well, you never know.
Challenge accepted, right?
Well, Dan would definitely do that.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same
I'll drink
time,
this
you
and
can
I'll-
have a couple of these. It's not gonna. There are some beers that are really heavy. They're really full-bodied, and you have one. You're like, I loved it, but I'm not having
I
a second
cannot,
or third one.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can have a couple of these.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you're right. There's enough going on in it that it could complement a lot of foods beyond what you would obviously think it would go with.
Because there's a saltiness from the peanut butter, like that has that kind of saltiness aspect
Right.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delicious.
I would drink a 12-pack of this while eating an entire pound of bacon.
It would actually pair quite well with bacon.
I think it would. Yeah.
Doesn't everything.
Let's bring one of
pretty much.
Let's
Yeah.
bring one of those
Yeah.
bacon quiches back over.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, I had bacon on a stick.
That's a
Really?
thing.
It is now.
Where was this magic?
We were at Kennett Brewfest, and they had, I can't remember who the vendor was that was selling it, but they had bacon on a stick. And then I was at another festival the following weekend, which was down in York at the Yorktoberfest, and they had it also.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I need to go.
It was
next year.
delicious, too.
Of course.
I'm sure it
When
was.
is bacon not? I mean, really.
I know, right?
Even as a vegan, I'm sure you can appreciate it, right? You can at least
The idea
appreciate
of
how
it.
I
much.
haven't had bacon in probably about 10, 11 years, but
Isn't that the thing that like gets people who are vegetarians back into meat?
well, and it's probably like why I like smoked beers so much.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, because we did a smoked beer about 3 years ago now, and everyone at festivals will come up and say, I hear you have a bacon beer. Like, there is no pig in this or anything. It's just a smoked beer, and that smoke flavor.
Yeah, but it tastes like bacon. At least what I remember of bacon.
Yeah, we had a beer that was at the ABC, the Appalachian Invitational something.
Yeah, the Blue Canoe.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
it was
the
a
brisket.
brisket beer,
Ah,
and he
nice.
he soaked brisket in it at
Yeah,
one
it
point
was-
during the production of it. It was really good.
It was delicious.
Wow. My mouth's
And-
like watering thinking about that.
Oh,
We
so
made
legitimately.
Steph drink it.
I did
Even
take
Yeah,
it was
she-
made with actual meat, and we
Yeah.
made her drink it.
Well, as much as we were gushing about it,
Yeah.
she had to.
I feel like I had to. I didn't have
Yeah,
a choice.
you did have
Yeah.
to. You were right.
That's right. Peer
I-
pressure.
I
That's
did
awesome.
hear them say something about pulled pork sandwiches, just so we all know.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the buffet here is going to be, there's going to be pulled pork, wings, macaroni and cheese, soft pretzels, pizza, Lisa's Bitchin' baked beans, and salad.
So I'm walking out 50 pounds heavier, you're saying, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's probably
Cool.
going to happen.
Food here is always really good.
Yeah, I haven't been, I've actually, even though I grew up here, I've never been here. And
Wait, you've never even been to the
I've
pub?
never been to
Wow.
Really? Wow.
No, not that I have memory of, at least. So, yeah, I'm excited to try this all.
Have they been, because this is Brewphoria
12.
12.
Yeah.
They've been open for
12, and I
years?
flashed 2
Well,
fingers.
no, the event has been going on for 7 years because it's twice a year.
Oh, is it?
At
Yeah,
least
the
it-
first Brewphoria was in
I mean,
2007.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, and I obviously it hasn't been twice a year every year, or it would be
Sure.
14, but whatever. But yeah, so it hasn't.
That
been 12
makes a
years.
lot more sense.
Has Evil Genius been at events in the past, or is this your first one
This
here?
is our third year doing this event
Okay,
in
cool.
November. I don't know if they've done it
Oh,
twice
okay.
a year
Yeah,
for the
I'm
past couple
not
of years.
sure.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
We have been brought bacon wrapped scallops, so now I get to try my theory of bacon and Purple Monkey dishwasher. So here goes. That was the bacon. And now,
Play by play.
because
here.
I chew beer.
It works really well.
It does. Let me try a piece of the bacon without the scallop, though. That was all bacon.
This is fun for us, right?
Oh, totally. I could watch this all day.
Good. This is how we're going to start our YouTube channel. It works. It works very well. That's how I know what I need to do.
Yep.
Bacon and Purple Monkey dishwasher.
Bacon monkey dishwasher. Boom.
Bacon Monkey dishwasher.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go. You got it.
So there must be bacon on the menu when you finally open your space.
Oh, there will be.
Good. I
No
know
menu
I like
is
you.
complete without bacon.
I know I like
as
your
far as I'm
priorities,
concerned.
Trevor.
Absolutely.
Well, Trevor, we are super excited to see you again. Thank you for
No
bringing
worries,
your
thank you.
delicious beers. Hopefully we can catch up with Luke a little
I was
bit
going to say,
later
we'll wrangle
on.
him in here at some point.
Yeah, he should be here
supposed
very,
to
He
very
should
soon,
be
yeah.
here momentarily. Yeah, so keep in touch, and definitely as soon as the announcement is
Oh, we
ready
will
to
be
be
in touch,
made,
absolutely.
let us know.
Break the news with us.
We will break the internet with that news, right?
Yeah, we're going to ride it on Kim Kardashian's ass.
Hey!
There you go.
All
Yeah.
right.
Oh, speak of the devil.
Hey!
Luke has arrived.
Surprisingly, Luke doesn't even need a microphone.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Good, how are you? So you just came from Harrisburg.
You are a very well-traveled man. From Pittsburgh to Harrisburg to Reading to other places.
Yeah,
Yeah. How was Pittsburgh?
How was Pittsburgh? Yeah.
actually
Wilson.
surprisingly clean and
That's-
vibrant.
That's actually kind of surprising considering it's the Penguins and the Steelers.
Dude, I was there like 10 years ago, and it was not nearly the city that it is now. It's actually really nice. I did a lot of stuff to downtown. The beer culture there is surprisingly really good. I mean, I went to their better places, but the beer culture there is actually excellent. There are a few spots that were really like a spot called Huff's. There's a spot called the Urban Tap. Smokin' Joe's. Like, there's some really good craft beer bars in Pittsburgh that people should check out if they're ever kind of in that neck of the woods.
I told Trevor when we were out there the weekend before. In fact, we probably passed you on the turnpike when you were going out. We were coming home, and I was spreading the love already. I was telling everyone about Evil Genius and mostly about Purple Monkey dishwasher.
it's
Like,
awesome.
you got to look for Purple Monkey dishwasher. You have
people,
to have it.
Yeah, people did. They did a really nice job with the rollout and stuff. So, have you guys been good?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Drinking, talking into microphones,
Yeah.
as usual.
Eating into
Eating
microphones
food.
now.
Eating into microphones.
Listening to music playing in the background. Band actually sounds really good, which is cool. I'm excited for them.
Yeah, it do sound good.
Trevor was kind enough to let us try some trick or treat that was left over in the trunk of his car, and we had the assortment that's in front of you.
Oh, it's awesome. We tried the naughty. What'd you think of naughty or nice?
Very good.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome.
And I was telling Trevor too. I went on record on the podcast as saying Purple Monkey Dishwasher is my favorite beer.
Oh, dude, man, thank you. I guess
now
He's
he's
our
Trevor's
favorite now.
favorite.
Yeah.
Well, and then it wound up being Rich was his favorite because Rich doesn't like beer, and then Rich likes Evil Genius.
I know. Speaking of you two, you guys have the best life, Rich and Steph. Because every post of you, I see you guys at a brewery, like drinking or eating something ridiculously delicious. Like, how can I get like whatever you guys do? How can I do that,
And he doesn't even drink beer. That's the thing.
dude? That's awesome.
He's the best DD ever.
But he does get a head witch.
Yes. We went to Fatheads and had head witches.
That sounded really dirty when I said it, though, actually.
Did you talk about Mod the Meatloaf?
Yes.
Yeah. And shut up, Meg.
Shut up, Meg.
Shut up, Meg.
You mad, bro?
Oh, we didn't do that one yet.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
so
a good one.
We
You
haven't
mad, bro?
assigned that to anything yet,
No,
so we
it's
don't know what that is.
To be
but-
named. You mad, bro?
That could be your
like
spicy
that.
beer.
And then you can
Yeah.
do Don't
Because people
Taste Me,
could get
Bro.
pissed off if they drink it.
Taste
and
Me,
it's too
bro.
hot.
You can do a whole bro series. Don't Taste Me, Bro. Do you even lift, bro?
It'll be the bra
Cool
series.
story, bro.
Cool story, bro.
Nice. That's awesome.
So you guys gonna wander around, chat with some people today? Is that the?
Well, we usually
They're
Rich
going
is
to wander to
gonna go
us.
get
Rich is going to go wrangle up people. We recorded at the Appalachian Capital
City Invitational Beer Fest. Beer Face?
whatever it's called.
Is that cool?
Oh, it was awesome.
It was
Nice.
a lot of
Great
fun.
time.
Nice.
They had us set up on a stage looking over the whole event. It was so cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we had lights and everything. It was-
Yeah.
But Rich went around. Rich and Noelle, Dan's girlfriend, went around. But Rich actually poured for some of the people that only had one
Yeah.
person at the stand. He took over pouring so they could come up and be with us.
Oh, that's
nice.
cool.
That's
Yeah,
Nice.
He is a team player. And Noel, while he was pouring, Noel was wrangling guests up and getting them in line to come up on stage.
That's
It
awesome.
was pretty cool.
So what else what other beers have you guys had that's been really cool that maybe we haven't tried?
Oh, what have we had recently that was awesome? Oh, those new Glarus beers we had
Yeah, they were really
yes.
with
Well, you know John Gillespie. He's
Yeah.
interviewed you guys for the book.
Yeah.
The first episode we recorded with him, he actually turned the tables and interviewed us. We recorded his interview of us for
Oh,
the
wow.
book.
Cool.
And he had just come back from Wisconsin and brought with a crap load of new Glarus
Oh,
beers.
gorgeous.
Nice.
Which one was it? Oh, the strawberry rhubarb.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
That was
phenomenal.
incredible.
Absolutely phenomenal.
That was one of the standouts recently.
That's a great beer.
It is awesome.
I can't even think.
I know,
We've had
drink so many
so
beers.
many.
Colin, head brewer at Golden Avalanche, he did Hop Helmet.
Oh, that was
that
really
the
good.
IPL Hop
Yes.
Helmet? An IRL, an
India
India red
red
lager.
lager.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I forgot
Really?
that was-
Absolutely amazing.
That sounds
It was
awesome.
Oh,
delicious.
that's cool.
That-
I brought a can back from Pittsburgh of the Fatheads.
The fresh hop.
Yeah,
I picked up some of that too.
was awesome.
That was
I
really
haven't
good.
bought a Headhunter in the car. If you guys, we should cool that down and maybe have that.
Headhunter.
I like
Headhunter.
the sound of that.
I picked up a bottle from Helltown, their Creek, which I haven't opened yet. I'm very excited to try that. And I hung in at All Saints, which is about a half hour south of Pittsburgh, and they had some really, really tasty beers. Very cool guys. I got two of the investors, owners, whatever you want to call them, were there, and I interviewed them, and very cool guys. They took me on a little tour of the brewery and
Nice.
let me sniff the barrels, and you let me sniff your barrel, then we're best friends for life.
And the only other plug, other than you tell people all about our beers, is that we're doing a bunch of events coming up that where we're doing verticals. We saved some Naughty or Nice from last year.
cool.
So I'm trying to think. 'cause this-
House on Tuesday.
yeah, but that'll be over by the time this airs, right?
Oh, yeah.
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 I can't edit that quick.
We're doing one at the
not?
Tilted Kilt then
Just kidding.
in King of Prussia,
Oh, cool.
and I'm trying to think where else. Doobie's in Philadelphia is doing one. I'm still setting it up with some different people because
Yeah.
we just have a few kegs that I stored to be able to do this. So I love doing verticals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
So how many will you have?
I'd say there'll be about 5.
Wow.
No, we don't have 3 years.
Oh.
This is why I organize it. Remember that whole detail-oriented thing that we talked about 2 minutes ago? This is why.
I just show up and look pretty.
I am going to keep a couple for next year so we can do 3.
Good idea.
Right.
Yeah. So
That's cool.
What verticals are you going to do?
it's just the Naughty or Nice. So
Oh,
last
that's-
year.
oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought- okay.
yeah.
I think
so
you
last
had-
year versus this year. Yeah.
Okay. I thought you meant you were able to do other verticals because you said you had 5.
5 events.
5 events.
5
that
events,
do verticals.
2 years of verticals for one beer.
One beer.
Yes.
5 to
5,
1.
2, 1.
Although
What
this
happens
will be
for-
over by the time this airs, but it is cool the one we're doing on Tuesday because we're doing last year's, this year's, and we're doing another this year's on a
And
random as
next
well.
year's.
Oh, okay.
In the future.
Years.
No.
We've got
We're doing
future
2017s as well. So
Oh,
yeah,
man.
we're excited about that one.
Well, guys, thank you so much for being here.
thanks.
And I know you guys are going to be slammed soon, and I'm going to send everybody I can your way, but you have to promise me that you'll slide me some extra Purple Monkey dishwasher under the table.
And some turtle power.
And turtle
No
milk.
problem at all.
What
All
beers
right.
are we pouring today?
We have exactly.
You weren't kidding. You set everything up.
We have Purple Monkey dishwasher. We didn't taste the Evil IPA, but we've done that I think a couple
we've
times.
had that.
Yeah, we have, yeah.
Delicious.
And I think we've got some Trick or Treat as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I'll be by for more of that. So stepping up to the mic right now is Brett from Stouts. Brett, how you doing today?
Good.
Hey, thanks for coming out for us. You are our first guest for the event while it's
Our
open.
first
The event
random
Well, first
during the
random
actual
guest, yeah.
Yes.
But now you have, what beers are you pouring today?
We have our Quaffer IPA as well as our Belsnickel Lager. And both of these beers are, they're not regular styles for us. They're both kind of limited release styles. The Quaffer we actually first released about a month and a half ago, and the Belsnickel was just released within the last few weeks. So
are these small batch beers that are available at the brewery, or do they
they've made their way out into the marketplace. We used to do most of our scratch beers or limited edition Brewers Reserve beers were about a 15 barrel, no more than a 25 barrel batch. Lately, we've just been kind of getting a lot of momentum, especially with the one-offs and the specialty beers. So we've been doing more of 60 or 90 barrel batches. The Quaffer was actually a 90 barrel batch, as was the Belsnickel Lager. So.
Very cool. Now, as head brewer, are you the one that solely comes up with these recipes? Do you collaborate with your assistant brewers?
We definitely, I have actually both of these recipes were in fact mine, but I have certainly given free rein to my assistant brewer as well as we have 3 brewers technically, myself and 2 other brewers. So I've given them the opportunity to come up with their own beers, or give me input for anything that I'm going to come out with. I'm not trying to hoard all the glory. And obviously we have about 14 styles that we do as regular styles, and a lot of those styles have been in the system, and no changes are being made to those. So this is all kind of one-off specialty beers, and kind of everybody's had their go at it. Very
cool. Now, right now we're drinking the Quaffer IPA.
It's delicious.
What are the hops in this one?
That was actually Zeus and Super Galena, which are 2 hop styles that we don't normally use. So I actually talked to my hop supplier about what was available. I'm contracted for all the hops that I use for most of my beers, so I wanted to use something different, something that we don't use in any other beer. So I contracted my hop supplier to see what he had available on spot purchase, and really just liked kind of some of the specs and the features of these 2 varieties. So I went with the Super Galena and the Zeus.
Yeah, I was going to say, those are 2 hops you don't really hear being used often at all.
Yeah,
right. Well, Zeus falls under the CTZ, the Columbus Tomahawk Zeus category, so you hear it referred to as CTZs more often.
Right.
It's a very nice hop. And the Super Galena as well. Galena was obviously its mother, and then they when they first bred the Galena variety, they found that it was actually not resistant to certain things like powdery mildew, not resistant to other certain characteristics and certain problems that they have in the growing season. So basically they hybridized it and came up with the Super Galena, which actually has a higher alpha. It is resistant to things like drought and disease, and actually gives them a better yield. So it's very, very similar characteristic wise to Galena, but a little bit more beneficial to hop growers.
Nice. I like the hop aroma is amazing. It's strong. You get the bitterness up front, and there's this nice little subtle sweetness that sort of lingers with you.
And it is it's a session IPA. It was actually the first session IPA that we brewed. We brewed a lot of lower gravity IPAs before. This one in particular is a 4.3% alcohol, and it's it's not extremely bitter, but we did go very very aggressive on the late hop addition, so a lot of flavor and a lot of aroma coming through there, as well as dry hop post fermentation. So.
Yeah, when I first smelled it, I got a little bit of like vanilla out of the aroma of it, which I thought was kind of cool. But I didn't get any of that in the taste. But the hoppiness, the bitterness of it, it's a very nice bitterness.
Yeah, it's not in your face. Yeah, it's not in your face. It's not like I said, the bitterness actually calculates only to about 27, maybe 30 IBUs.
Wow.
Because we use a lower amount of bittering hops, but we really, really upped it with the late edition hops in the Whirlpool as well as the dry hopping, just to give it more flavor and more aroma.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's a in-your-face hoppy beer, but it's really not.
Yeah, it's really
yeah.
And so now we have...
Feldschnickel, I love the name, first of all. My German heritage coming out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice
What are we smelling here?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
For years, we've had people ask us to do a special spiced beer for Christmas. So we kind of determined a couple months ago that we were going to do one this year, and basically what we came up with was that we would do a dark German lager. Our brewery started as a German lager brewery, so we figured that makes the most sense. Thus the name Belsnickel, which is the Pennsylvania Dutch version of Santa, kind of in an evil way.
Yeah.
Right, yep.
But in addition to spicing the beer, we decided to add some fruit as well. So we do actually plum and raisin, as well as cinnamon and ginger extracts in the brew process. So in the nose, actually, I think the ginger comes through a little bit. Obviously, the plum and the raisin are kind of in your face in the aroma. Obviously, the taste, you pick up a little tiny bit of cinnamon, a little bit of the ginger. I think the fruit came through a little bit more so than the spices.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And this was all sort of an experiment for us.
It's interesting. Until you mentioned the cinnamon, I wasn't pulling it out, but when you said it, it's right in the background there.
Yeah, it's they have definitely mellowed out, and I think part of the reason is because the fruit is so forward, that plum and that raisin really kind of hit you first.
Right.
That the spices kind of get lost in the background.
Yeah, back a little bit.
But it's nice. You know, and as I said, it was sort of an experiment for us, so we're pretty pleased with the way it turned out.
I like the way the flavor pretty much travels along your tongue, too, because you're right, the fruit is right there up front, the raisin, the plum, but then as it goes back and you get to swallow and you get to revel in the flavor of it, there's the spice. Instead of having it all mixed together, it's like a little journey for your tongue.
Right.
A little journey for your tongue.
There
you go.
It's pretty complex. It's not just very straightforward. A lot of beers are very straightforward.
Yeah.
The taste that you taste as soon as it hits your tongue is the taste that it is, or that it gives you, fully. Whereas, like you said, this one is kind of up front, very fruity, and then it kind of mellows out, and you start to pick up some of those spices in the background
at the very end there.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Delicious. Well, Brett, thank you for stopping by. It's
no problem.
Been our pleasure. The beers are delicious. Have
And
fun
mine.
tonight, and
Thank you. I will plan
we'll
to.
see you at the brewery, I'm sure.
Thanks.
Take care. Thanks.
All right, so joining us now today at Brewphoria 12 is Trevor from Susquehanna Brewing Company. Trevor, how are you doing?
Well, doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming over
Thanks
here.
for sitting down with us.
Yeah.
We've talked about having you on the show before. For our listeners, Wayne and I met Trevor at a Susquehanna beer dinner at Anthony's Coal Fire Pizza in Wyomissing. Susquehanna Brewing Company is just a little bit of a far of a drive, so we haven't been able
that is a little bit of a ways.
Manage to schedule a visit to the brewery, but now we have you here in Reading to record with us. So
Absolutely.
thanks for
You'll have to
sitting
make
down.
it up eventually. We're not too far.
Yeah,
There's a lot to do.
it's not far off the interstate, too.
No, we're only
So,
5 minutes.
that's
and
right.
Once you're up there, we're only 20 minutes from Elk, so you get
And
a full
it
day of
is an
skiing in too.
impressive.
There you go.
You guys haven't been to the brewery. I have.
No,
It
I
is
have
a very impressive brewing
Yeah,
system.
you've said that, yeah,
I mean,
before,
you
yeah.
look and you look up and you drool, and yeah,
Yeah.
I've been there a few times now as well, so
it's
I can
beautiful.
tell you what you need to know before you visit.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
So I spell Susquehanna with the Mickey Mouse theme.
What's that?
SUSQUEHANNA.
Wow, that's awesome.
I am so using that.
That's good.
So you have some beers that you brought with. What did you bring?
I did. Today we've got our Pils Noir, which is the world's first black Pilsner.
Ooh, that's cool.
We've also,
I remember this one from the beer dinner.
Absolutely. Both of these we brought to the beer dinner.
Okay, cool.
The Hot 5 is our semi-unfiltered English-style IPA. I guess we'll start with the Pils if everyone's coming.
Yeah,
back.
absolutely.
Black Pills sounds
Pass.
awesome.
Pass this cup around. It's in
Nice.
a white styrofoam.
I feel like I need
This is
to.
how we roll. This is how we
Hey,
roll.
however we can get to the beer to the table, it doesn't
It's
matter.
like something
Gotta
Wheezy
improvise.
would do.
I remember from the beer dinner, I'm pretty sure this was my
This was our
favorite beer
favorite. Yeah, both
of the
of us.
night.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
This one
Ooh,
is
I'm excited.
It's really, really very different.
It is,
You can
yeah.
see it's dark in color, really high SRM, but it's got a crisp, clean body. It stays true to that Pilsner name. When we built our brew, we implemented a few different mashing techniques that other breweries really aren't really doing right now. We start off with endosperm mashing, where we separate the husk from the grain, and then we we go ahead and decoction mash this beer as well, so you get a little bit more body from that, a little bit more complexity. And then as we go to the boil, we lauter over top of those husks that we took out, so we use it as a filter medium, and get a little bit of color out of the husk without really imparting a lot of that tannic, harsh flavor that you'd normally find in these darker beers.
Nice. I love this beer, and I don't know of any other brewery that is doing that system.
Yeah, we're the first, and I think Landho from Heavy Seas was that might have been like a one-off. They might have done one, but right now we're the only one. So
It's delicious. It's like clean and crisp, what you would expect from a Pilsner, but that nice, subtle, roasted, malty flavor. And I love it.
For me, it brings to a Pilsner what a Pilsner's needed for a very long time. I'm not a huge Pilsner fan, but...
We're doing great.
Yeah.
Lisa's in the
not
house.
doing the podcast. Air quotes for those who can't see.
She won't sit down with
She
us.
refuses to sit down with us.
So she's just going to say something every time she walks by the table.
Just stumble across.
That's right. We
just
love
yell.
Elise.
But yeah, this is what I like about this is it has the characters of a Pilsner, but then it also has the characters of a darker, maltier sort of style, and it's really interesting, and it's super drinkable too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's what impressed me the most when I visited the brewing company, Susquehanna Brewing Company, is across the board the beers are clean. They're clean, they're well made, they're delicious, and you have a lot of respect for that, for breweries that take the time to make sure that it's a good beer, but it's also a perfected beer, and it's delicious. And
that was definitely the key for us when we were looking at it. When we opened up, we kind of went no holds, went all out with the PDX warp boiler, went really efficient, and went for top of the line equipment so that we could make top of the line beers and really make high quality beverages. I believe this is definitely a great example of how far our system can go.
Yeah, absolutely.
delicious. So next we have the IPA.
Hop 5, was it?
Yeah, Hop
5.
All right.
So is it called Hop 5 because it has 5 hops in it?
Or is it called Hop 5 to be a take on High 5?
Oh.
Both very astute. Well,
Point
it
for
means
both of
different
us.
things to different people. You can
does
interpret
different
it however
strokes
you
for
want.
different folks.
Different strokes for different folks.
5 different hops and 55 IBUs. So
There's a lot of
it's
5s.
all
There's a lot of
about the
5s
five.
going on.
a lot of 5s.
Awesome.
Except it's 6%. They should have done it 5.5. Right?
Did you start brewing at Cinco de Mayo, 5:55 p.m.?
No. Okay. No, we should have. though.
I think you just
Why
blew
did we
his mind.
think of all of these things?
I think we were at 5:55 p.m. on Cinco de Mayo. We were doing other things.
I love it.
Ooh, I love the smell of it.
We use the 5 we use 3 Pacific Northwest and 2 English style. We start off with it's Sterling, Mount Hood, English Progress, Bravo, and on the back end in our hop jack, most of the aroma is from Full Cone Liberty hops.
Nice.
So really nice and effervescent, more herbal, floral types. Nothing too uber pungent, and we let it kind of come through the hop profile, come through with an extra carbonation. It has a package conditioning. Let it live a little bit longer, raises the carbonation, really pops those hops out past what really 55 IBUs seems like sometimes.
Definitely, it's
Nice.
It's really good, and this was actually I think this may have been my second favorite from the beer dinner. There were 4 beers.
Now
that
you're
night?
just sucking up.
I am just
Seriously.
sucking up. I think there was 4.
We had 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't remember.
I think
we
put this along with the wings from Anthony's.
Yeah.
Yes,
those
yes.
onion.
Oh, yes, with the caramelized onions.
Yeah, this
It was
pairs
delicious.
with those bar foods that you love, like
And
the
this is-
burgers and the wings.
This is a good food pairing IPA. It's a little. We just had an IPA from Stouts a few minutes ago. This is a little more punchy with the bitterness and the hoppiness, but it's still not so overwhelming that you couldn't pair it with some food.
No, totally, I agree.
Yeah, we wanted this one to be kind of mild, so we went for that standard English style. It left us room to do beers like our Southern Rye IPA and even our Atomic Blast, which was a triple IPA. It's
Wow.
Nice.
American Imperial. And we do have another a West Coast we're kind of kicking around right now as well. So this one's our year-round. It's standard. It's really, really smooth and drinkable. Pairs up well, but leaves us room to do some more crazy style IPAs in the long run.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Well, so you guys had a pumpkin beer this year, which was
Absolutely.
quite tasty. Do you have a Christmas ale coming up or any other seasonal beers?
Absolutely, we do. The next one that is going to be coming out is our Toboggan. That is being packaged right now. We were going to release it a little earlier. We had a new box maker and 6-pack maker come into the brewery, so we've been fine-tuning that. So this will be some of the first package through that line, and also from the 4 new fermenters that we put in. So we've been a little backed up on production just because we've been putting some extra knickknacks into the brewery, and that'll be out next week. It's a chocolate doppelbock. It's 8.6%.
Yeah.
It's 150 pounds of chocolate.
Wow.
And we got it from a few nice ladies from Shaverstown who run awesome chocolates.
Delicious. I
sounds
can't wait to
awesome.
try
That
that.
does sound really good. It sounds
We will
really
be
good.
stalking your
Yeah, I
Facebook
was gonna
page,
say,
watching
save
for
some
where
of
that's
that for
available.
We'll definitely be bringing it to Valley Forge. We'd love to pour it there.
Excellent.
Usually,
Okay,
all
Beer
the
Fest.
sessions, and then I'm sure you'll be seeing it out here at. I know Canal's here. We'll have it as well.
Cool.
First batch out. So.
Awesome.
Excellent. Well, Trevor, it was awesome to see you again.
Yeah, you as well.
It was awesome to meet you.
Absolutely.
Great to sit down
Maybe you
for a
guys
little
are
bit.
coming up to the brewery. Give me a ring, and maybe you can hit the slopes afterwards.
Definitely.
I'll watch.
Yeah.
If you want me to go to the hospital, I'll go on the slopes with you.
Well, thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for
you.
sitting
Thank
down
you.
with us.
Have fun.
Awesome. Yeah, have a great day.
So now we have joining us Rob from Chatty Monks. Rob, how you doing?
Doing great.
Cool. It's good to officially meet you. I know Steph and Wayne have done articles and met you before, for lack of another word.
And been to the brewery.
Been to the brewery, yeah,
Yes.
that too. You are Berks County's own Chatty Monks. You guys are over in West Reading, correct?
Correct.
Very cool.
Right.
I know.
Very
I've
nice.
been on West Reading, on Penn Ave in West Reading many times, and every time I'm over there, I never have time to stop in. It's on my list to do, but I never have time to get
That
there.
sounds like a
You
bad
apologize.
excuse.
It does.
It's-
He's full of
Well,
bad
no,
excuses.
typically he's on his way to record, and he knows that we will give him crap if he's late.
Yes.
So.
This is true.
And
This
when
is
he's
true.
late.
Yeah, and when he's late. Not if, but when. Anyway, enough of that.
Yeah,
So
enough
you
of
guys have been open how long now? Just a few months.
Yeah, June 20th, Arts
Yeah.
Avenue.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, we did an article on your grand opening on our
Oh,
website.
yeah, I think we were there the opening weekend,
Yeah,
the first
we
time.
were. So how has things been? How's the reception been? How's business?
It's been overwhelming.
Nice.
It's been like just this week alone, we were back down to 5 taps again, just because we had an unbelievable week the week before last.
Right.
And I walked in Monday morning, and we had 18 kegs empty sitting outside the cooler. I'm just like, what happened?
Where
Now,
did it
who
all
has
go?
to clean all those kegs?
Actually, it's Norm's responsibility, and we've been trying to get him more help just because he really is a one-man position in the brewery, and because of that, we've had to make some adjustments. We have Sean, why am I having a brain fart here? Sean O'Brien, who we just hired. He's been managing the bar. Anyway, he's working on getting a Cicerone, so he's been going down on Mondays or Tuesdays helping Norm with brewing and stuff, so he's kind of gotten to do some of the grunt work with that. But I've been going in on Mondays temporarily to kind of help him get ahead of it, because it's been brutal. You're just down there cleaning kegs for 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Now, are you guys in the process of getting a new system? Have you just gotten a system? What's the deal with that?
We've been in the process of getting a new system for quite a while, but
Isn't that how it
January, we're actually getting a brand new, ultra super efficient 3-barrel system in from Stout Kettles from Oregon.
Nice.
So
Okay,
we're
cool.
excited about getting that.
I'm sure
Nice.
Norm is counting the hours.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He can't wait. Yeah. Because then he'll really be able to dive into some more creativity. Because most of the stuff that's really has hit our taps has pretty much been existing recipes that we were screwing around with homebrew. And just lately, like we have a Saison Poivre that just went on. That is actually his first recipe that he's actually developed on his own and put out
cool.
there. He just hasn't had time.
Right, yeah. Awesome.
Now, beyond the beer, you guys have a pretty impressive lineup of food there.
I've heard that about you guys.
Yeah, and I was just in recently with Danielle, your wife, who I work with, and we had lunch there. Unfortunately, we were on the working, so we couldn't enjoy any beers. But the veggie panini was quite
Outrageous,
enjoyable. So you
yeah.
want to talk about the food and the menu for a moment?
Well, that credit all goes to my partner Jim Kiefer, who's technically executive chef and oversees the kitchen, and then on top of it, we have a guy named Dave Baxter, who is just a phenomenal creative chef. He's basically been able to just absolutely without any accountability has been able to duplicate everything that Jim wanted done, and then on top of it, he's been doing his own creative genius work back in the kitchen with pairing of foods with the different beers and stuff. So, like for example, he just came out with about 3 weeks ago the fish and chips, which is beer battered with a Thelonious Milk Stout. Absolutely outstanding. We've gone with a bigger portion route so that, we're in Berks County. People like to get more than they should be eating. We want people to feel like they're getting their money's worth when they come in. So they are a little bit on the larger side of portions. You know what? I'm personally not a vegetarian, but I have the veggie panini all the time because it's so meaty with the vegetables.
Yeah,
it's delicious.
It's good, especially with the fries. You
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
get the fries.
I like fries.
So I know one thing when you guys first opened that struck me was all your brewing equipment is in the basement, correct? So is that kind of like a downer that you couldn't have it like on display in like the dining area or something?
Well, one of my partners really wanted us to get a couple of stainless fermenters to put on the main floor,
Right.
In order to kind of show off the hardware type of thing. But we knew space-wise, we just weren't going to have. Just wasn't going to be possible.
Yeah.
And we get requests all the time about wanting to tour the brewery, and we do not offer tours simply because there's rickety steps going downstairs. We don't want the liability issues. And quite frankly, you guys have been in many breweries, and some of them are impressive, and some are just kind of very organic and basic. And you know, we're down there with plastic fermenters because why spend thousands on stainless that nobody's going to see anyway?
Yeah.
And then we'll just buy new ones maybe in 5-6 years again. And that's really where we're going at that location. Is we're not going to move from that location to a much bigger location. We're going to stay there because we want to be part of West Reading. We may try to expand upstairs or something along that lines, but yeah. I mean, the brewery is kind of out of sight, out of mind.
Well, thanks for stopping by. It was awesome having you. Enjoy your first Brewphoria, the first of many to come.
This is actually the first time I've ever been to Brewphoria.
It's one of the best beer events.
Yeah, well, I'm picking up on that.
We're lucky that it's close by. So.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, thanks for sitting down with us. Yep.
So now we have joining us at Brewphoria two guys who have been on the show separately, even though they work together.
Oh my God, that's right. This is the first time together.
We have never appeared at the same time.
Reunited, and it feels so. Anyway.
Or they're not the same person. They are two people.
Yep. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway.
People often ask, have you ever actually seen them in the same room together? I think they might be the same person.
And I then say,
I've never heard anyone say that. Tom is my skinnier, clean-shaven alter ego.
There you go.
Yes.
So, by the way, it's Colin and Tom from Golden Avalanche.
Golden Avalanche.
Yes, for those who couldn't tell. and
another awesome Berks County brewery.
Yes,
absolutely.
And Colin is sporting a mustache for, I'm assuming, Movember.
I am, absolutely.
Right, very good, very good.
This is 15 days of growth right here, whether you'd believe it or not.
I didn't recognize you at first when you walked by.
It's a little sad.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I don't do it. I just go for no shave November.
Yep.
No shaving. There you go.
And this is Tom after 15 days.
This is Tom after like 6 hours.
Yeah, fair enough.
You keep a razor in your pocket?
If Tom started now, he could have more mustache than me by the end of the month.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do it.
I think he could have more mustache than you by the end of the night.
Yeah, he could spot me. He could spot me 15 days and still out mustache me.
Give you a 2-week head start.
Yep.
So what are we drinking?
I was going to say,
All right,
what's in our hands?
So this is our Belgian triple. It doesn't really have a name yet, so we're working on that. But we took half the batch and blended half the batch with sour cherries.
Ooh, nice.
So this is not the fruited version. This is the straight.
It's not?
Yeah, this is the straight Belgian triple. Very expressive yeast character. Comes in right around 9.7%. With the addition of the cherries, the other one's probably going to bump 10.
Right.
So I got to run some numbers on that, but we just added the cherries, split the batch and added the cherries this past week. We'll give it some time. It'll be ready. We're thinking like big, strong winter beer. We bought some special glasses for it, some nice, really sexy kind of curvy tulips. And so we'll have some good glasses, big, strong, tasty beer, get you through the wintertime.
I know, wink doesn't translate well, John.
You can't wink on a podcast.
I can't wink on. I can still wink at stuff, though.
Look, I can call
Rich was looking the other way.
I can call them big, sexy tulips because I think that was a consensus. So, we agreed.
Big sexy tulips. I'll take it.
Big sexy tulips.
It's really
maybe
tasty.
that could be a beer name. I don't know.
There you
maybe
go.
not.
Sexy tulips.
Not yet.
Big sexy triple.
Kutztown is not ready for that yet.
Little too.
Well,
you could call it BST.
Yeah.
And then for those that are ready, they can know what it means.
maybe.
So are you guys pouring anything else?
Yeah, we brought a whole bunch of things actually.
Dan's like, why didn't you bring more beer to the table?
No, not to the table, but we've got right now on our jockey box on tap, we've got the Belgian Triple and our Hop Hat IPA, which is our new year-round flagship IPA. As the backup when one of those kicks, we've got our Onyx Cream Stout. We've done a couple minor recipe changes for that, give it a little more roasty, a little more chocolate. And then we brought 2 growlers with our James Brown Ale. I think that one's actually done. We poured that already. And that's the Pro-Am that we did with Steve Moyer from the Berks County Homebrew Club. And the last one is our Super Fresh in a growler, so that's only 64 ounces we've got here. And that's a fresh-hopped Harvest Rye Ale. So it's a nice hoppy rye ale. brewed with a bunch of Cascade hops from a local hop farm.
Awesome.
Speaking of hops, you were just in Boston.
Yeah, I was at Boston for Humulus U, basically a hop school that the Brewer Supply Group puts on. And it was very, very informative, really fascinating, and it was all done in the backdrop of the Sam Adams Brewery up there, and that place is fantastic, really great.
Awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And you were at Trillium, correct?
Yeah, stopped at Trillium for a reception on Friday night, or Wednesday night, whatever, the night before the day of classes, and tried a couple single hop beers there, tried some stuff through a Randall. Sam from Dogfish Head was the keynote speaker.
Oh, cool.
So he brought, like, official Randalls, and, we did some stuff through those, and looked at a whole bunch of different hops, some new stuff, and talked about growing and using hops and how the process works, because it's a little bit less than transparent for a lot of people who are on the consuming side of beer, that getting hops, particularly for hoppy beers, is really difficult, and you have to plan several years in advance. So we're running up against that a little bit with our Hop Hat IPA, that we're a brewery with a lot of history of German heritage and German-style beers, but now suddenly I'm bringing in a hoppy beer, a hoppy IPA, and it's selling like crazy. But that just means I now have to get a lot of hops. And some of it's difficult, some of it's easy because I have some friends in the industry, and I can go up to Weyerbacher and say, hey, can I buy 20 pounds of Simcoe? And they'll give it to me, no problem.
Right,
so, yeah, it's good to know people.
So how have you been, Tom?
I've been outstanding.
You're letting Colin do all the talking.
I know.
Colin always does all the talking when he's around.
I'm a talker.
That's because Colin's got a pint of the beer that we're drinking right now.
You already have the rosy cheeks, and it's still early in the night.
Man, I had the rosy cheeks today before my first sip. It was just like I walked outside, and it's cold enough that I like.
It is cold. It is. Winter is coming.
Yeah, flushed face, chilly day.
And I don't have the beard to warm you up anymore.
I know. It doesn't keep my face warm. Yeah.
Man. I don't know how you do it.
I'm just waiting for Tom to attempt to make the outtakes real again.
I don't know.
Now there's a lot of pressure.
He has some good material before our official intro, which might end up in there.
Yeah, he's quite.
I was told that wasn't recording.
Some of it was.
He wants to have a throwdown with Luke and Trevor for those outtakes. It's kind of close.
Those poor guys wouldn't have anything.
And an outtake reel showdown kind of thing.
I will say, though, we were having a conversation with them, and I don't know if this will make the cut or not, but they were asking us what were some good beers that we have had lately, and the IRL did get dropped.
Nice.
Yes.
So,
Awesome. Yeah, that was one that went over really well for us and actually got us a little bit of press from some bloggers out of New Jersey after the Great American Beer Fest. Totally random people we didn't know had it at GABF among the thousands of other beers out there and really liked it.
Yeah, so, it was like 50 miles from their house. And they flew out to Colorado to taste it.
We're not that far from New Jersey. Come see us.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's great to see you guys, and I know we keep saying it, but we definitely have to record at the tavern.
Yeah.
We will do that coming up.
We'll do it.
You need to put aside some of this triple with the cherries.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can
absolutely.
totally do a side-by-side. We've got a really killer winter lineup coming up, so
nice.
I'm totally pumped to start getting some of those out here.
Excellent.
All right.
Have fun tonight.
Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy.
So now we have, stepping up to the mic, we have Brian from the Other Farm Brewing Company. Brian, how you doing today?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing very good.
Thanks for coming over and stopping to chat with us for a couple of minutes here.
No problem. You got it.
So you guys are one of Berks County's own, correct? You're in Boyertown, was it?
Yeah, Boyertown. We've been brewing for about 2 years now. And we try to utilize some ingredients and products from the farm, from Fracon Orchards. They are actually own part of the site. The farm is, the brewery as well. They have Fracon Cidery that's been producing ciders, dry traditional English style ciders for about 7 seasons now. So they have a lot of fruits they grow on their farm, other than apples and peaches. And we try to incorporate them in some of our Belgian style beers, and we try to do farmhouse style ales. The beer you guys are drinking is our Bar Hill Estate. It's just basically it's our estate IPA we used to make that we use the Belgian yeast with, and the reason it's called Bar Hill. It's really Bear Hill, but it looks like bar to me, so I say bar. They like to correct me, but we actually grow hops on the farm as well on that hill. That's the name of the hill. So we use Cascade and Chinook in there, and each year it's come out a little different. The last 3 seasons we made it just due to the weather and what happens with the hops. Sometimes it's much more citrusy, sometimes it's more mellow. So it's one of those things we brew like once, maybe twice a year with the amount of hops we can get out of the yield. So I'd rather buy the hops than grow them, to be honest with you. I'm not a hop farmer. I don't want to be, and God bless the people who do it. Because it sounds like fun when you're trying to do it for home brewing and all, but in a large scale, it's not fun.
So you also have a cider on tap today as well, correct?
We have the Hogshead cider, which is it's a 8.5% cider.
8.5 cider.
Yeah, they actually have a 10% cider called Krabby Granny that they make as well.
Granny, nice.
It's considered a cider because it's fermented with honey. It's real tart, very dry, a lot of alcohol. People like that. It's like the perennial favorite of the three that they make. But distribution-wise in Pennsylvania, we can only send out like a 5.5% early man cider they make. We're actually doing pressings this week. It's like big time. All the apples are in, so I've been helping them kind of put together bin boxes based on how much yield they need for each type of pressing they're going to do. So they've been doing a lot of pressing this week and fermenting, all that good stuff. So the cider process is a lot different than beer because you only get like one shot at the end of the year for the apples. You press them and there you go. With beer, you just got grain. You can make beer, as you know, and it can keep it going. But once they get their apples set for the year, they pretty much have to wait for the fermentation and racking process and 4 or 5 months until they can be able to drink it and have it ready the final product. So the hogshead that we have now is from last year's 2013's apples that have been pressed, and that one when primary fermentation's done, they rack it on American and French oak spirals. So it gets a little bit of an oakiness to it as well. So drinks more like kind of like a Chardonnay almost, where the early man cider that they have that's out that we have that we can actually sell to distributors, they make a 5.5% alcohol version and a 7.5%. That's more like a champagne effervescence, real light. It's really good body. It's one of my favorite ciders too. I'm a typical beer guy, but I like the ciders too. They have a time and place for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything else coming up with the other farm, seasonally? Any events, any beers coming up?
Well, we have our stout we just put out on tap. We have the Colebrookdale Rail that's running through Boyertown up into Pottstown. It's the Secret Valley Rail. So we have a beer after that. It's an amber beer we made that people are really receptive to. We didn't want to make anything too hoppy, too over the top. It's just like a good, working person's type of beer. We have a winter beer we're going to be making as soon as I can get back in the brewery and done cleaning next week. And we have a couple different IPAs coming out that everybody's looking forward to as well. But usually try and stick with the Belgian beers. We got a really great Belgian beer that people like. It's called our Dutch Hammer. It's a 9.2% quad Belgian specialty ale, somewhere in there. But we actually brew it with apple butter. And it's got a little... Yeah, it's a little booziness to it, but it's got a nice apple. That's aside from the grain, we get a lot of the sugars derived from the apple butter. And it's usually from the apples that they press and they get up at Bauman's apples from Fracon Orchard. So we kind of use their apples in the process. And it's got a unique flavor, and people like it. I had it at a beer fest, and we had 2 kegs of an IPA and 2 kegs of the Dutch Hammer. And we almost went through both kegs of the Dutch Hammer and only like almost 1 keg of the IPA because we were up in Lehigh Valley and, it's Pennsylvania Dutch land, and people heard we had apple butter. They were like, what? So it's a definitely unique beer, and people really like that one a lot. So I brew that next week.
Any beer you can take to a beer fest that kicks faster than the IPA you take.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Be doing something good.
Yeah, we that caught on the first time around. We're like, wow, I think we did something right here. So we're gonna keep rotating that with our Belgian triple that we do. So people like both of them equally well. But the Dutch Hammer, people like the name too, and there's a bunch of jokes about the name with the Dutch thing. You can kind of think of yourself. But those are coming up, and then of course before you know it, we'll be thinking about springtime, so I can't wait because it's too cold anyway.
It only just started getting cold after.
That's kind of what we got going on. We waiting for a new 6-barrel fermenter to come in too. So we just have a 3-barrel system now, so it's starting slow, but we'll eventually start getting up there with the big boys.
How long has the other farm been around?
About 2 years. Started officially in January. I started brewing a little bit before that.
Okay.
Before we were officially open, but. We had a small Sabco half-barrel system, if you believe it or not, that we were just, it's like a mouse rat on a wheel or a hamster on a wheel trying to just keep up with production.
So you brew constantly?
I did it, I mean, I still do, but it's like I can kick out 100 gallons at a time versus 10, which is like, you're looking at these 2 kegs, like, all right, I got to make 2 more, and they'll be ready next week. So it's pretty nice to get to that point. I can only imagine having, what these big guys have, like Stouts, Victory, and it's just unimaginable. So you got to start somewhere, and maybe one day we'll be half as big as they are, and I'd be happy with that, if that. So.
Excellent. Well,
But-
thanks so much for stopping
No,
by.
thanks for coming over. No, I appreciate you guys
best of
having
luck to you, and we will definitely have to come up your
Sure.
way sometime and maybe record at the brewery.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Be a good time.
Be down for it.
Cool.
Super.
All right, thank
Thanks,
you.
Brian.
Awesome. Thanks
You're
again, Brian.
welcome.
Thank you.
All right, have a good
By the way,
night.
this is Dane from St. Boniface. I guess we should do a proper intro.
Yes.
Go ahead, Dane.
Dan is
the
pouring
new
beer, so
system.
we're gonna
That's
do his
right.
job for a second.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so these are actually both of these are the first number 1 and number 2 batches off our new system. So
Sweet.
debuting them to the public tonight, and we're happy with how they came out. A couple tweaks that we want to make here and there, but I think I'm a really big fan of the stout right now. The pale ale is really good. Just the little tweaks here and there, and I think we'll be all ready for it to go into cans in a little bit.
Nice.
Speaking
Exciting.
of
Cans.
Yeah, cans.
When can we expect them?
Our canning line is in. Our cans are coming this week. So we just have to get our canning line up and running, tweaked, and dial it in. And we're hoping mid-December. I'm hoping. So before the holidays.
So by the
hopefully.
time we record there in January,
Absolutely.
we'll have cans on the table.
Yes, we will. We'll
That's
definitely have a
awesome.
couple of those nights.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that should be awesome.
Yeah, we're doing the pale and libation. Those are the two products that we're canning. So.
Does it blow your mind a little bit to think back to the original space, that tiny little space, and now where you guys are at?
It does. I started as a volunteer at St. Boniface their first couple months, and to see where we've gone since then, it's incredible to imagine. Now we have a 15-barrel brew system that's up and running, and we were struggling to keep kegs for the tap room, and now we're going to be able to get out in bars and hopefully get a lot more accounts in the Reading area, especially because I'm from this area, so it's nice to see it in here. I don't live in Berks anymore, but it's nice to be able to get it, walk into some places around here, and my friends and family be able, they can get
That's
the beer.
awesome.
So
Speaking of, isn't the Black Currant Stout is on right now here, right?
Yeah,
the only place in Berks County.
That's right. Dusty twisted our arm to get some special
That's why we
stuff.
love Dusty.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Dusty and Canal Street have been real good to us, since we've started being able to produce and get beer out there. When we could get it to them, we could, and we'll get it to them. And it's tough because you want to be able to supply a steady stream, and for the last couple of years we haven't. So I really think that's a good thing for us now.
Yes, very cool. The pale is delicious.
All right. Well, thank you.
Very good.
It's so good.
It really is. Yeah.
It's one of those where you get the hoppy goodness that you love, but it's so drinkable.
Yeah.
It doesn't melt your face
And
off
it's
like
very,
some
yeah, it's
ideas.
very flavorful and refreshing, and not. Oh my God, my teeth are melting from bitterness.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the perfect way to describe it.
Now, I have to admit, the stout has probably always been my favorite St. Boniface beer, so I'm feeling like I don't even want to pass it around the table.
I thought she was going to say, so I don't really need to drink it. You guys go ahead and split it.
Oh, no.
Wow, she would have blown your mind on that
I
one.
know. I was like, all right. You're going to tell me
Steph turned
twice.
down a beer?
They know me better than that.
Yeah. We're really happy with how this batch came out. It's smooth, it's flavorful. There's a lot going on there, and so when when we get our brew system up and running, the company sends a rep out to help us run the first batch through, and that was the pale ale. And then the next day, John, one of the other owners and our head brewer, he brewed this one by himself. So we're real happy with he's happy that it came out good and the way it came.
How's it going? Free will in the house.
All right.
He's going to squat down by the table
Cheers.
for a minute.
No, this is delicious. This has always been one of my favorites, and you guys also recently-ish, I guess, did a collaboration brew with Columbia Kettle Works.
Yeah, the guys down at Columbia Kettle Works have become good friends of ours. Rod, the brewer, and one of the owners down there, and John have struck up a really good relationship. So we did a collaboration brew called Kettle Face, Imperial Red Ale with tons of hops, and we debuted that. And we had it at the tap room for a short time, but at the Lidditz Craft Beer Fest when they had that in September, and it got a real good response from it. So
delicious.
And they actually did the exact same recipe at both places. And it's interesting to see how the differences came out. Same recipe, same everything except for water and our house yeast. So
And the system. It's
Yeah, and the
amazing.
system.
People
Yeah, how
don't
much that
realize
makes-
how,
yeah.
the system does make a
Make a
difference.
big
Did you
difference, yeah.
taste them side by side? Have you done that?
I did that at the craft beer at Lidditz Craft Beer Fest. So it was you could definitely tell some differences. Obviously, I'm a little biased. But,
you have to like the one brewed at your spot. I mean, it's okay. You can say it.
Thank you. Yes, I did.
John might be upset if you don't say that. You'd be in big trouble.
Yeah. He'll be listening like, did you really just say no?
You're fired
no.
now.
You're fired.
Well, we cannot wait till we come to
We're
the
real
spot
excited
in
to have you
January.
guys down.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
I think you and I have been in touch how many months now
I know.
trying to work this out, but you guys had a lot going on, and we can't wait to be there and drink more of the beers.
Yeah, well, I'm excited. We're excited to have you guys down here, and thanks for all your support over and putting up with us our schedules and things
Well,
like that.
we're persistent because we love your beer. You know?
Yeah.
We wouldn't be that pushy if it wasn't for that. But no, we're super excited, and I haven't been up to see the new system yet, so I'm super excited about that. So
Great.
it's
Awesome,
great
guys.
to see you, Dane.
Well, cheers.
Have
Yes,
fun
cheers.
tonight.
Thanks for
Cheers.
having me.
Thank you.
Cheers, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Sounds
great.
good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So now we have, stepping up to the microphone, the man who is responsible for everything you are currently listening to, because without him,
We wouldn't be
Brewphoria
here.
would not exist. We have Dusty Wise with us, and apparently crashing this segment is Tom from Golden Avalanche. So welcome back, Tom. And welcome, Dusty. Thank you so much
Yay.
for putting this together, for having us here and letting
Yes,
us record.
thank you
It's
for
so
having
much
us.
fun and such a great atmosphere.
Hey, we love having you guys. This, like I said, this has been my baby for 6-7 years now, and I'm just amazed at how it's grown.
And this is number 12.
Number 12, yes.
So you do it twice a year now?
Now, we used to do it twice a year
okay.
now. We have a festival in the spring called Sip Fest that we
Sipfest,
do
I like
now.
that.
Sip Fest is a Firkin Fest and a pig roast.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I like both of those things.
Yes. Who doesn't?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We used to do Brewphoria twice a year, but about 2-3 years ago, we decided, hey, let's do it once a year. That way we can concentrate it. We felt like we do it in April, and we kind of after the holidays we kind of just like rush and throw it together. So we felt if we did just once a year and just concentrate on it once a year, it just will
Put that much more effort into it and make it that. Yeah.
So what was the inspiration behind you coming up with this idea back in 06?
I've always had a passion for craft beer. I started at Canal Street in October of 06. And we kind of decided, well, Canal Street's always been about craft beer. There's always been there was at one point a brewery in the basement of Canal Street. It was Never Sink, then it was Legacy, it was Never Sink, then it was Fancy Pants, then it was Legacy. So there was always been a craft beer, idea here. But when I got here, we decided to take it to another level. So Brewphoria was kind of like the advertisement of us taking it to another level. So I said, why not? Let's get some breweries in here. Let's get the word out. Let's get the word out to Berks County of who we want to be and who we are.
Right.
Now, did you intend for it to be a yearly event, or did you think it would
No,
be a
we
once
did not.
and
We I thought it'd be one time, and we did it on a Sunday afternoon, 1 to 5. It was a beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon in April, and people just took to it. Everybody took to it, and it was just amazing.
And it's just grown.
It's just grown. The one negative thing from Brewphoria 1 was I found out that breweries and brewery reps and brewers don't like to work on Sundays. So that was the only time Brewphoria was on a Sunday.
The first and last.
The first and last. No, like I said, it was a beautiful Sunday afternoon, 1 to 5, and it was sunny and 68 degrees or whatever it was. It was in the high 60s, and people loved it. And then we said, hey, let's do a Saturday night, 6 to 10. And
a good time slot. I mean, it kind of envelops the nightlife then, too.
Absolutely.
Which is awesome.
Absolutely, yes.
I think we'll into a little later. And I indoor beer fests like this are awesome.
Indoors is always better.
Yeah, especially
Always.
this time of year because it starts to get cold and all the summer fests are over and there's not a whole lot going on. So it's great. And this building is perfect. There's plenty of space.
Yeah, and we stress that Brewphoria is an intimate experience.
Right.
It's 350 people. We stress a one-on-one with the breweries. We expect our attendees who are paying the $40 fee to be able to talk to the breweries, ask questions, and vice versa. We expect our brewery reps to be able to talk to our attendees.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
So how quickly did it sell out this year?
Well, as is Berks County, as people always wait till the last minute.
That is true.
But Tuesday the 11th, I believe was the date, was when it sold out, and that's the quickest it sold out. Normally we have tickets available Thursday and Friday, and even occasionally on a Saturday we'll have tickets, but finally people understanding, hey, I need to get my ticket now or I'm not going to get it. And I probably fielded between Facebook, text messages, and phone calls another 100 tickets I could have sold. But people one day will learn that, hey, I need to get my ticket as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I like that you don't stretch it too far to get those other 100 people in then, too. You want that kind of intimate feel you're going for, and it works. I mean, there's a buffet line that's a good offering. Any more people that would come up, it's just going to be that much more crowded. But I could walk up to the buffet right now and wait 2 seconds to get another big old plate of mac and cheese.
In fact, he's thinking about it.
Yeah, no, I've been thinking about it for a while. But then I can go up to the breweries
delicious.
and I can just say, hey, give me this, give me that, and have fun. If it were too many people, it's just kind of like it's in and out. It's too much of an assembly line, basically.
Right,
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's like fill the glass and get out of the way.
Yeah,
let me fill the next person's glass.
And I've been to events like that. And,
yeah,
we've all been there. It's like, next.
Honestly, if we could easily sell 500 tickets, we could easily fit another 150 people in here, but that would ruin the Brewphoria experience.
Have you ever thought about doing like a second session of it?
Well, it'd be hard for me to stay sober enough for 2 sessions. But no,
good point.
Myself and Jake Boucher, the owner of Canal Street, or one of the owners of Canal Street, have just had that conversation just the other day about, should we go 2 sessions, or 1 session Saturday, 1 session Sunday, or 2 sessions on Saturday. It's been talked about, but I like Brewphoria as what it is right now. Just 350 people. And I think the brewery reps who come here and the brewers love the experience they got out of here. They enjoy coming here.
And I like the span, the 4 hours, the 6 to 10. It's a good long time. I know a lot of festivals sometimes will do a 2-hour session, maybe a 3. But it's nice to have a 4-hour session that's limited attendance. There's more than enough room. And like you said, it's nice and intimate.
And everybody's
really
bringing
good.
special beers.
Yeah,
there's, you're excited. You're like, ooh, I haven't had that yet. Ooh, I haven't.
And
I've
it
never
is,
tried that
and
beer.
that way it's sort of like it's the event. Like if you're going to release or you're going to introduce something
Speaking
special, you're going to do it
case
here.
in point,
talk about Weyerbacher. How did that get started? Where they have their special release during the night?
Well,
their special beer.
They've been here for everyone. Bill Bragg, who unfortunately was not able to attend tonight, he's got a sick family. He was here at Brewphoria 1 and kind of just loved the experience. He just...
I wonder who that was.
That was Elise. She is very important to Brewphoria. She is the one who makes the phone calls for me. She's the one who will nag these breweries when they're not sure if they're coming or not. And,
Elise Nag, no.
Elise, yes.
Never,
her middle
never.
name is Nag. But no, you mentioned Weyerbacher. They kind of enjoyed their first Brewphoria experience and it just kind of grew from there. They were into the big intimacy of the event, and I mentioned in the article that they're one of the most amazing breweries in our state right now. They're really growing.
Absolutely, yeah.
They're constantly innovating different styles, and I love what they do, and I love that they have kind of grasped the whole Brewphoria atmosphere and are totally into it. And I don't think it wouldn't be Brewphoria if they weren't here.
Yeah.
Do you know what beer they're pouring?
Is
it Reserva?
I cannot say.
It's not Reserva.
Ooh, you were wrong.
Is it? It can't be sour black.
Well,
we'll find out.
There's more than one beer that they're holding back on us, just so you know.
Ooh. They promised 15 minutes after that they would come right here then, once the mad rush died down.
Which, by the way, I see a lot of people funneling into the back room where
Is it
they
soon?
are.
What time do they...
They usually don't tell me. I usually get a backdoor taste of whatever they're giving.
Have you already
I
had
have
a
not
taste?
Well, Bill is not here, so I lost my kind of in with those guys as of right now. But they still know who I am, and I'm sure if I went over there and twist a couple of arms, that they would definitely hook me up.
I was trying. I even pulled the, I'm with the podcast. Can I take your picture? Come and record. Can you tell me what you have under the blanket? Tell me.
You got to mention my name.
Oh, I'm excited for that. So you guys also have some other events coming up. I know one of my favorite events here is the Ugly Sweater Party, December 18th, correct?
Yes, it is, and that's another event that's really starting to grow. This will be our 4th year, I want to say, doing it, and I could be wrong. It'll be either 3 or 4. And that's just stuff I have laying around the cooler, just aging for 1 to 3 or 4 years.
You never know what you're going to get that night.
Exactly. You never know what I'm going to pull out, and there's stuff I won't find. I'll find when I'm actually looking for it. You know, I'll be moving kegs around. Oh, I didn't even know I had that down there. You know. Thank God I don't write the checks for this place, or I'd probably.
So, do you guys have any other events coming up besides Ugly Sweater?
Nothing really huge. We have we're actually doing a happy hour with St. Boniface out of Ephrata. You know, they'll be bringing a Padilla 3-pound hegemony and libation. Do a little tap takeover / pint glass giveaway.
Nice.
Other than that, you know, December's pretty jamming for us. Christmas season, do a lot of parties, a lot of functions, corporate functions. So I try not to plan too much except for the Christmas sweater party. And then coming to spring, Sibfest, and we may be doing a little something new in the summer. I know everyone. You mentioned outdoor events. We tried an outdoor event a few years ago, and it rained all day. But we're gonna give it a try again. Thinking about doing something with arts, something called like arts and crafts. You know, get some local artists down here,
that's cool.
And some craft beer, and
that's a neat idea.
Yeah, it's
especially with the Goggle Works not too far away. I'm sure you get them involved.
And right across the street, our neighbors in the neighboring building just opened an art studio called Hydra Art Studio.
Oh, cool.
Okay, cool.
They had their grand opening yesterday at 400 people. So I'd like to talk to those guys, work something out. We have a couple other artists in the building, so it's just an idea right now. We'll see what happens. You know, look for May, June. Hopefully, we'll do something.
Good idea. Yeah. Good idea. So, speaking of events, next year's Brewphoria. So by the time our listeners are hearing this, the event's over. So when can they come next year? What's the date for next year? Do you know yet?
Yeah, you're
too
jumping
far
ahead.
ahead.
You're jumping
too far ahead.
Let me get through this one.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
It typically was always the second Saturday of November. So, but sometimes that date never works out. It's usually the second Saturday or third Saturday in November. But let me get through this one before we talk about the next one. I don't have a date for Sibfest yet. I'm still working on that.
All right.
Yeah.
And we're having a blast, so I will be nagging you so we can come back next year because we are having a great time.
Awesome. Is everybody, you guys are having a good time?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Great. Just do me a favor, drink and eat up, please. There's plenty of food.
I will definitely drink, and I know that definitely Rich will eat.
Yeah,
so.
I think both.
I think he's on his third plate full.
That doesn't surprise me.
The food is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
It's easier to bribe him to come help us do an event when there's food.
When there's food.
Yeah, that's one thing we could never change. It always amazes me when we open the doors. The biggest line in the place.
I know. Everybody goes for the food.
Yeah.
It's and I always say when I'm not drinking, it's all about layers. You know, beer, food. But there's some people who really like to go food first, and that's awesome, and that's great that the food we could never change. I don't think we'd ever change the buffet up. There was one year we decided not to put the soft pretzels out right away.
There was a riot.
There was almost a riot. Yes. I had to diffuse the situation and everything. Yeah, but. That's awesome. That's what Brewphoria is about. It's about eating, drinking, having a good time, good music. The Youngers, we haven't talked about the Youngers.
Oh, yes.
Oh, the band, yeah.
Yes,
from Berks County.
They're from Berks County. They've done every Brewphoria except for one, and they I just love the atmosphere that they create. You know, they're more background music in the beginning, and then
Baba Booey.
Yeah. And then by 9 o'clock, and then you start hearing them. They'll start jamming then. So it's. Like I said, it's the whole atmosphere. It's the beer, the food, the music, you know, the atmosphere of the place. It's what Brewphoria is all about.
You're right. And if you're not here, you're missing out.
Yeah. And next time, next year, don't wait till the last minute to buy a ticket.
Act
Get
early.
your tickets as soon as you can.
Yes.
And the price of the tickets is, for what you get, it's a steal.
Absolutely.
It is a steal. For $40, you know, there's 21 breweries today. There's a buffet that will go till almost 10 o'clock.
You say almost 10 o'clock.
Well, I'm watching Rich partake, and I don't know if we have enough.
You don't know how much longer that's going to last.
So, no, I mean, I can't say by 10 o'clock it will still be going, but 9:30, quarter 10, it's still
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Honestly,
Thank
Dustin,
you for
allowing
putting it
us to be
all
a part of
together.
this. It's been a blast, and we can't wait till next year.
Oh, awesome.
We're
We'll
gonna
definitely have
start
you
the
next
countdown.
year. It's our pleasure. You guys are just adding to the whole Brewphoria experience. So.
Awesome. Thanks.
Glad to be a part of it.
Happy to do
awesome.
it.
Tom, you have anything to add?
I'm a little disappointed that I didn't hear more cursing out of you.
I know.
I hopped in because I was expecting like the uncensored Dusty.
It was so professional.
That was the first question I asked Rich. I said, "Is there any kind of like anything I can't say?" He goes, "No, you can say anything." He goes, "They'll edit it out if they don't like it." So.
That's true.
It's the internet. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
You even have the button-down shirt, your classic.
Yes. I try to class up the place a little bit. Button-down shirt.
So wait, you get classy as you start drinking?
Yes, I do. Believe it or not.
That you are the opposite of everyone else in the world.
Apparently, I have a little respect for myself.
Tom.
I'm a little bit of a drinker. What can I say?
Oh, we hadn't noticed.
Aren't we all though? Isn't that why we're here?
That's true. Yeah.
That's what brings us all together. It's good.
Well, Rich isn't, so why is he here?
DD.
Food.
DD and guest wrangler and photographer
and food.
He's the podcast producer, I assume, right? He was chasing me down at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, 7, where are you? You said 7, where are you? Let's go, 7. It's 7.
Right. I said, all right, well, I'll make my way back. It literally took me a half an hour to get back.
Yeah, from the time he went to get you, we had 2 other interviews.
Yeah, what is it, about 200 feet? It took me almost 40 minutes to go 200 feet.
You're like the mascot here.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I call myself the host or the king of Brewphoria.
The king, that's right. The king of Brewphoria.
I like mascot. I like mascot better.
I prefer mascot.
Yeah, I like mascot.
He's the angry Santa of Brewphoria.
Thanks again, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
And now we have, stepping up to the mic, John from Free Will Brewing Company. John, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. Thanks for coming over and chatting with us for a little bit. And I noticed you have a picture of some good stuff there. And I noticed people are trying to stop you as you're going back and forth with these pictures. You must be a pretty in-demand guy with that picture of beer at a beer fest.
Well, I've been to a lot of beer fests, and you find that the people behind the table serving the beer never come out from behind the tables unless they're just getting themselves beer. But there are a lot of underserved people in the crowd. People getting food, people using the bathroom. And that's where I fill in the gaps.
I like that. That's clever. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I discovered this about a year ago when somebody that was obnoxious was standing in front of my table, and I couldn't serve beer. So I was like, forget this. I'm just going to grab some pitchers and go out into the crowd. I'm surprised how appreciative people are when you bring them beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fantastic. So what is in the pitcher?
What's in the
Can
pitcher?
we ask?
What's in the pitcher?
COB, coffee oatmeal brown.
I love that stuff.
Oh.
See, we need to have more guests like this that just bring a pitcher to the table.
Yeah, no. All you other brewers could learn something from this.
Yeah, I don't think there's any rules about this.
Oh my God, that smells amazing.
So can you talk about what kind of coffee is in this beer?
This is a Speakeasy brand. It's a Colombian coffee. He actually sourced this for both himself because he's a Colombian crazy nut. And the Colombian we selected years ago as the best selection for this beer because you need to have a light to medium roast. Last year he provided some very high quality Colombian coffee, but it had a red pepper note to it that I didn't really want in the beer. And he sourced himself some better Colombian coffee. And we did a cupping, decided on a specific degree, and actually really spent some time in developing the right coffee for this beer.
And
it's delicious, by the way.
It is.
I gotta say, it's absolutely
I
fabulous.
love coffee beers.
I
think they're currently my favorite.
Oh, it's
my
so
favorite.
good.
At what point do you add the coffee?
It's actually added in secondary, much like dry hopping. The beer is at completion. We crash it to 58 degrees, and then we add the coffee. It's coarse grounds, like you would in a French press. And it's actually roasted 24 hours before it goes in a beer perfectly because 24 hours is, as of now, recognized as the peak of coffee's freshness. So we take just as much care of the coffee as we do the beer. And it is a pain in the butt, and it creates a lot of loss. But
when this is the end product.
Yeah. If this is what comes out of it, it's all justified.
I was telling one of those guys that I found that the enjoyment of a beer is directly proportional to how much of a pain in the butt it was to make it.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
That's so true.
I love the coffee flavor in this.
I know.
It is so bold and delicious.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Oh.
I love it. Now, as I mentioned when you came up to the table, I had the key lime lambic this week. Now, was that just as much of a pain in the ass? I mean, key limes are pretty tiny.
They are tiny. We brought some friends in to help cut them up and throw them into the beer. We should have zested them and pressed the limes, but I actually wanted some of the pithiness in there because it tells you that it's real. Because you'll get a lot of fake things out there, and there's so much intensity to a key lime, and there's no key lime lambics on the market. And I wanted to make sure that everybody was clear that this is real key limes and real lambic beer, and we wanted to make sure it came across. So we actually deliberately put some off-putting pith in there, because that first taste really punches you in the face.
Oh, yeah. You know it's key lime as soon as you take a sip.
The key limes actually stayed in the beer for only about a month to 6 weeks.
Wow.
Because it was so much initial extraction that it got so key limey so fast that we had to move the beer off the limes. And even then, it was so key lime to the face. It was like the straight lambic was taking a key lime and biting into it right through the skin.
Wow.
It was too much. We actually blended it down to the ratio of 25% key lime lambic and 75% straight lambic because it was so intense.
Wow.
But that means we have a little extra, so we're going to do some fun stuff with it in the spring, do some really limited blends. I have some 20-year aged Peruvian rum barrels. I'm going to throw some key lime lambic in there.
Ooh.
And then when the mint comes in, we're going to get some fresh mint and make a mojito lambic.
Oh, my God.
So, maybe some key lime and cherry lambic blended with our creek.
Amazing.
Do some limited brewery-only releases, things like that.
And
Fun
you guys
stuff.
are great at that, coming up with some crazy, unique beers. And so what else beyond the key lime mixes are you thinking? What's coming up next?
Well, there's more creek coming out. With it, the peach has been out. I'm still trying to source pomegranate, either juice or puree or something. I am not getting fresh pomegranates and dealing with that.
Oh my
but I
gosh.
would like to do a pomegranate lambic. Our grape lambic, which is actually imported Tuscany Barbera grapes from Italy. We're not allowed to put Tuscany grape, Barbera grape lambic on the label. Apparently, the government thinks that insinuates that it has wine in it.
Oh, okay.
But it is, in fact, Barbera grapes that are in there, and I think it's our best one yet. It's got some more funk to it. It was a little bit dank in the aroma, so we actually blended that 66% grape lambic and 33% straight lambic to actually brighten it up, because the straight lambic is pretty bright and tropical.
That sounds really good.
And that's in draft, and it's out in the market already. The label should be approved on Tuesday, so we should have them produced in the next 2 weeks or so.
Delicious.
It's been bottled for a while now, so it's ready for the label.
Awesome.
Amazing.
It all sounds delicious.
And I'm always in love with a brewer that makes a spicy beer. So, Safe Word, as I mentioned when he sat down, is one of my favorite beers. And do you have any plans to brew with any more peppers, or?
Actually, we've been asked by a local owner of a really well-known restaurant. He just opened a new restaurant. It's a Mexican-based, and he would like to do something with peppers, but not quite as hot as Safe Word, because that's great for some people. For me, it's actually too hot.
Oh.
Nothing's too hot for Steph.
Yeah.
We have people that buy the Safe Word by the gallon, but he wants something with a good flavor, but not as much burn. There's some really good beers out, from Tommy Knocker. It has a nice ancho chili lager. It's really stellar.
The chili lager is really well made. It's delicious.
It's very delicious. No heat to it whatsoever, but it's good.
Yeah.
I want to make something that's kind of a little more like that. Not necessarily a lager per se, but with a little bit of heat to it. Just a little complimentary burn. So we'll see how that goes. We're not really about making house beers for restaurants, but he has a little bit of pull.
Yeah.
So maybe.
And it's a little bit of a unique situation, a Mexican theme.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he had the Safe Word. I was like, wow, this would be great. Limitedly.
Yeah.
So can you make something that's not quite as nuclear?
It's delicious.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, like I was saying, Safe Word will be out again towards Christmas.
Fantastic.
So when it's really cold outside in January and snowy, because we have this stupid Arctic vortex again this year.
Yeah.
Those are great.
We warm up with Safe Word. Yep.
Fantastic.
Hopefully this time next year we'll be putting it in 4-packs, but no bottles yet.
Oh my God, that's the best news I've heard all
no.
Yay! Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for stopping by, John.
Thank you, John.
It's nice to have you here, and we definitely have to come up to the brewery.
Absolutely.
And have you on the show and
we
drink Safe Word.
We
right
definitely
from the source.
appreciate the pitcher of beer you brought over.
Yeah.
To us.
I need to say this is shaping up to be one of my favorites I've had tonight. This is really good.
You can't go wrong with coffee beer.
Number one seasonal seller. That's that one actually outsells Techno this time of year.
Wow.
Very nice.
That's huge.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
All right, John.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you,
much.
John.
Yeah, thanks.
Enjoy.